and welcome back to Aston Martin here for race 5 in Miami, and we'll start just by quickly saying if you haven't done so yet, please like, comment, subscribe. Actually, comment once you've seen parts of this video because then, you know, there's something to talk about. But you know what I mean. I thank you for the support so far. I just want to get that in at the start because I'm enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying this. I am aware the episodes are sort of slightly drifted in length. I'm going to try and get that back down again a little bit. And with that in mind, the only thing to mention is a brand new suspension. We're on round 4 of those now, just because we kept rattling those out before the research period began. In terms of the comparison, ignore the fact obviously it says down and everything, because obviously it's comparing it to the installed one on the other car. But what this new suspension has done has brought us up in DRS by 1 position and has brought us up in both medium speed cornering and low speed dirty air cornering, weirdly, just different ones. But you can see marginal gains across the board. Obviously there's been no hours put into this, and it's a suspension, so, you know, it's one of the lesser affecting pieces to begin with. But it is obviously slightly more brake cooling, which, you know, might help those lockups, which keep happening. Still not fantastic on that front, though, compared to the rest of the grid. But that's literally it. I did have another quick look at Simone Resta to see what the total buyout will be. It's about 3.7 as things stand. I think I've made the decision. I will go for him just by virtue of the fact that staff members don't regenerate. That people don't just appear on that staff list, so we might as well just get the third best one and go from there. But I'm going to wait until he's under 3 million total buyout. So that's it. I will see you for qualifying here in Miami. Nothing else to mention. Okay, so definitely don't get excited by this one. You can see what the situation was. The track was wet to some degree all the way up until like the last 10 minutes or so. So I had to send out my drivers on mediums because we hadn't used the mediums due to rain in P2 as well. Just to make sure we burnt up the mediums from practice. I had to do that because I suspect they'll throw away the extra softs that we didn't use as well. So had to make sure they had to do 1 medium and not 2 sets of softs that they got rid of. So that being said, still relatively competitive, but we have no real idea of the order. I think this track suits the McLarens more with its high-speed cornering. They seem to be a little bit stronger in general when they're not, you know, on wets down here, which is what this is. But a good 15 out of 15. Qualifying may not include rain then, considering the fact that practice 3 had rain. The race should be fine as well. Just says cloudy for qualifying. As always, first 5 laps, we'll see how this goes. A lot of people came out immediately, interestingly. Is there a chance of rain? No one gets in the way for the actual flying lap. No, there's no chance of rain. Pierre goes faster than the Red Bulls. Okay, well, you're not coming out again. Wait, I'll put the tyres on just in case there's a bizarre situation. We obviously expect Leclerc and Russell to do better. Probably Hamilton too. But do we think it's enough to risk Mick? It's a case of understanding the game more than understanding real life. In real life, track evolution might get you 6/10, but in the game, it's not. I'm just going to leave it. Here come the times, and Russell does indeed go ahead. Verstappen goes faster, but that's not, you know, relevant. Yeah, Mick ends up 10th. The cars we expected to go faster did go faster. And all told, they found about a 10th. Shogun, you did a great lap. Considering that so far it's been the 2 Williams, the 2 Alfa Romeos, and then just some unlucky sort of who's just on the worst out of everyone else. Shogun, you with an exceptional time. Faster than the Alpines as well. Maybe it doesn't suit them, this track. But it is worth noting, the track where the McLarens are doing a little bit better is the one where the Alpha Tauris are struggling. We talked about them being polar opposites. Clear skies for Q2. Oh, Magnussen jumped the gun massively there. Shouldn't be an issue. He's far enough up on the road. And he seems to be relatively pacey as well. Mick got stuck on Bottas, I think, but these are the used tyre runs anyway. Yeah, Mick definitely got stuck. He was 8/10 off Gasly. The good news is we similarly hindered Bottas, I think, but not in a position where it mattered. We might be all right here. Well, I've accidentally sent Mick out again because I thought I was hitting reconfigure and I missed it. But I've been bamboozled by Gasly retiring, and I don't know why. I vaguely recall this happening once before. I think it happened with Mick, where Mick just didn't come back in. He just didn't do an in-lap and then ran out of fuel on the track. I mean, he's fastest of all as things stand. The 2 Ferraris haven't crossed the line yet, but I'm trying to work out if this is sensational timing for me with Mick here, though. But these are brand new tyres, so I can't really bring him back in again. Otherwise, it was pointless putting them on the tyres. Well, he's actually going to have an unhindered flying lap. Or he did actually hit Magnussen. He hit Magnussen, so that's a problem. But he's going to get in the way of everyone else. He was actually 15th in the end. I have no idea what happened here. It was still a sensationally good enough time. The 2 McLarens, actually, Ricciardo in particular, found the timing. Q2. Wait, we don't even get Q3. It's Pierre 10. Right, I need to know what's happened here. Yeah, so he is being registered as 10. Is this the worst position that Pierre's going to be in all season. I think it's going to be the worst position Mick's going to be in all season. Because now I'm considering back of the grid. Oh, I can't buy a new engine because I've not touched that one. I nearly put it in as well. I nearly put the new round of stuff on. I nearly put him on like the fresh stuff for qualifying. There's 2 empty gearboxes which we've not touched either. I wish I knew what the individual penalties were, because both could get a new ERS. Because I don't think all of them are back of the grid penalties. I think the engine is just by itself. I think new ERS and new gearboxes aren't. I think it's going to be one of those things where we just have to stomach it. I'm so annoyed because his engine and gearbox aren't superb. I would nearly gave him the new one of both of those for qualifying, and if I'd done that, then I would have been able to put the new ones on everything. Oh, that is irritating. Well, actually, I wouldn't be able to do the gearbox. There's still 2 of those, but I could have done the engine. All right, so we got utterly mugged off there. 1 stop. Ain't gonna cut it. 2 stop with 2 sets of mediums. Starting hard. I think starting medium is the way to go, but I mean, the very least you do medium, hard, medium, rather than hard, medium. But I think both drivers can do this. I was tempted to run hard from the start with Mick, because he's further down. I could certainly run him 2 laps longer. Okay, so it's the same strategy for both drivers. 2 stops, I think, is non-negotiable. But I've pushed the strategy 1 lap for Pierre, 2 laps for Mick, and then I've pulled Pierre back 1 lap on the second pit stop and Mick's on the originally planned one, just to have a little bit more time on the better 2 tyres. Okay, but I'm annoyed. I'm also is in the way there.
And it's lights out, and away we go.
Hamilton starts 5th in this race. I didn't actually bother checking the rest of the qualifying results, but Hamilton starts 5th ahead of both Mercedes and both McLarens, which is, you know, good qualifying from him. He's actually taken Sainz off the line. Pierre's having a look at Ricciardo. I think Norris might be on hards. He is. Norris and Russell are both on hards. Sainz is on hards, which is how Hamilton got past there. But Schumacher has taken Durham, which is crucial at the back, especially as he's another medium tyre runner. It's imperative we get past the hard runners as quickly as possible. It's fascinating that we're actually struggling, considering like the previous races where, last race where Mick got 3 places on the first lap from 9th, you know, against inherently better vehicles than the ones he's up against today, and he's only got the 1 place. It's not a huge amount of wiggle room on these tyres, so we'll leave that, especially as now it's just the straight where tyre usage isn't a massive thing. And in fact, I'll come back on this straight. Hello! I mean, he's in the gearbox of Magnussen. You know, it's a sight he's used to seeing the back of that Haas, but please explain to me how you've not got past it. To be fair, Magnussen's relatively pacey now. I don't really know why, but he is. Can't push the ERS again. But our driver's struggling. I mean, Pierre is in the back of Ricciardo as well. Like, he could not be running with Ricciardo any harder than he is. And interestingly, Ricciardo is struggling to keep up with his teammate, who's on hards. Possibly because of the intense defending he's having to do from Pierre. No DRS, of course. I might set Pierre to deploy now. I need you to get them. At the very least, I need Pierre to be behind the hard runner when it comes to... Why are you not pulling out? Why are they so rubbish? I don't understand. I don't understand Mick especially. I've forgotten. There's DRS on this straight, isn't there? I say straight, there's a curve in it, but yeah, there is DRS on it. I mean, Mick's got an angle. He's going around the outside. That's not working out, obviously. Overtake your fuel. Everyone's got DRS on each other. Why have you all pulled into the same line? Come on. We're gonna have to wait for a breakaway here. There's no point pushing the fuel because they just can't get past. For whatever reason, they just can't get past. Oh, Mick actually got past Magnussen. Oh, on the pit straight. Oh, I didn't do the incentive. Oh, such an obvious incentive as well. I mean, to be fair, Pierre's actually not got a place yet, but he will do by the end of the race, I'd imagine. But we are trapped in a sandwich now. We are not going faster. I'm thinking of switching to medium, hard, medium, and burning these mediums, trying to get past this lot. And I think I'm going to do it because I can't sit in this train any longer. I need him to go for it. Come on, Mick. Make the move. Why are they just doing it in like completely the wrong places? Okay, well, ignore that. Also, attacking the tyres is just making the temperature go up on them, so it doesn't really help. I don't really know what happened, but I'm guessing it happened at the hairpin at the end of the straight. And I'm guessing it's a weird game glitch. But Gasly fell out of the DRS. I mean, it's not going to matter because he's going to get back in it. And he's got the pace even without DRS to keep ahead of Ocon, I think. But I think something happened here where they all bunched up. That caused Gasly to lose a lot of time. Yeah, we're going back in it without any issues. Oh, Ricciardo finally got Norris because I think Russell got out of the DRS of Norris. So I think... Just realised I never came back there, but I can't push the fuel now either. I've been pushing the fuel the entire time, that entire stretch, just trying to get him past, and it's just not working. What? That's what happened, I think. That's what happened. You saw it in 2 times speed there, but I think that may have been what happened. Oh, there's been a safety car. Oh, a safety car's come out literally the second we've got past Norris. Not that it matters. Obviously, I know what we're doing here. Pit window was close anyway. What's happened? Okay, they're still both pitting. What happened? Who crashed? It's Magnussen, I think. Turn 1. Oh, in the DRS of Mick, I think that is as well. So Mick might have been a bit of a lucky boy. We nearly had a Haas taken out of Aston Martin there on that corner. I think we're far enough on the road. How far apart are our 2 drivers? They're only 3 seconds. Mick's going to get held up a little bit, but he might as well. And the good news is Gasly never got like fully caught up, so they will actually get out ahead of Stroll and Tsunoda, I think. Oh no, they won't. Oh, okay. Gasly got Tsunoda at least. Well, there's your free pit stop.
Safety car will be in.
Okay, weirdly, we don't get enough ERS, so I'm not going to deploy that on the restart, but actually, might as well. I might do it on overtake rather than deploy, because no one else is pitted, and all the majority of the pit stops are going to happen in about 6 laps time, or now will be about 4 or 5 laps time, I guess. Took the fuel back to exactly 0 as well. It's kind of imperative that Pierre gets Lance Stroll basically immediately. Similarly, Mick with Tsunoda. No DRS at this point, of course. So this should just be raw power. And he's on the inside of Stroll. Has he got him? No, because he yields weirdly. That might be what happened. And I need to tell Mick don't fight. Well, that's one way of not fighting.
Sorry about that.
I just saw that in the background. The second I said don't fight. That's one way of doing it. Pierre's still in overtake mode, but come on, Pierre, you can do this. I believe in you. Eventually. There's something wrong with that corner. Oh, there goes some of the pitters. Tsunoda's out of the way of Mick as well, for good measure. Oh, Gasly dealt with Sargent relatively quickly. I don't know when that happened, but I didn't get the notification for it. Mick's now on Sargent instead. Probably get him on the pit straight, I think. Doohan's being a bit of a roadblock, and Stroll can't deal with it for whatever reason. See if we can get Gasly past Stroll. I mean, the answer appears to be no. Come on. Get the cretin. Perez pits and ends up behind everyone, which is good for us. Right. Everyone's just pitted. Stroll's outside of a second. This could be a double DRS overtake from our drivers. Mick's actually ended up on the inside of Pierre, but he's been told not to fight. Come on, Pierre. Stroll doesn't have DRS, I don't think. He's still pushing the bloody fuel, I've just realised as well. All right. No DRS for Stroll. This should be knife butter. But there we are. Vettel should be dispatched with next time. Again, I keep forgetting to come back today. I do apologise, but this should be knife and butter as well for Pierre on Vettel. He's going the long way round and completes it. But everyone who's pitting is coming out behind us. Verstappen is 5 seconds behind Mick with literally actually no one between us, unfortunately. But Vettel's now pitting, which is a bit irritating. Mick might get Stroll here. I mean, they both had DRS just because he still had DRS off the pitting Vettel. But what a move by Mick! That was a superb move. Gasly got Ocon as well in the meantime. That was a superb move by Mick. So these are the original hard runners. Oh no, so it's just Ocon doing Ocon things on very old mediums. Oh no, the one stop was medium to hard, wasn't it? And then just don't pit again. It was hard, medium, medium. That was the 2 stop. And then there was a medium, hard, soft, which we went onto and sort of shifted. So we don't actually really know who's doing medium, hard, or medium, hard, soft. We would presume the people pitting late off mediums, such as Ocon here, are doing the 1 stop. And there goes Ocon, in fact, giving Mick the DRS, but not having to make him overtake him. So thank you for that. But we'll assume these 3... Oh no, anyone on a medium is going on to another medium by the end, because that's hard, medium, medium. We know that's happening. We don't know whether some of these hard runners at the top are pitting again. Someone like Albon and someone like Tsunoda probably definitely doing the 2 stop. But I would hazard a guess anyone that's on 90% hards now is going to the end. Gasly and Mick obviously aren't. Are they within DRS of each other? Because I'm half tempted just to let Mick push up a little bit and get DRS. If I can get Mick closer, I can't get Mick closer. I'd have to physically tell... Actually, I do actually probably need to tell Pierre to conserve anyway, so Mick irritatingly isn't getting closer. And it's just being overtaken at will by people. Okay, well, with Perez, he's found someone he can stay in the DRS of, briefly. Okay, so we're just falling through this field now. I mean, without DRS and on older hards, we are a little bit of a sitting duck, but I was hoping a little bit more of a fight here. Bear in mind, obviously, Mick's defending is atrocious as an attribute, so I think Bottas might be the person Mick can hold on to. How long does a medium last for? 33 laps is 100%, and the lifetime is 19 laps on a 58%er, so that's still got a few more laps in it at that point, of course, but I'm trying to think what lap are we on. So 20, basically it'd be 20 laps because there's a couple more laps we can do on these hards. So there's a few more laps we can do on hards, maybe getting the benefit of a DRS that's much faster than us. So it's 14 laps to get to 58%. So I imagine the full running, yeah, if it stays sort of a fairly standard depreciation rate, then it's about 7 laps per 20. So you could probably get about another 7 laps out of that before it's a problem. So it's about 20 laps. Why am I pushing with Pierre? Why am I going the wrong way with him? I think the second Mick loses DRS might be the time to push him and pit him.
We're not okay on
We might be. If we have to conserve at the end, we'll conserve at the end. It's fine.
box.
So we've lost that DRS. Pierre's staying in that fight at the front. I have no idea where Mick's going to come out here. It's going to be in this train, I think, which is a problem. It's ahead of Ocon, but behind Russell. And obviously there's no point pushing his tyres. He's in a train, so... Okay, so Mick's in a slight spot of bother. And I don't really feel the need to pit Gasly. Unless Gasly gets overtaken by Perez and then falls out of DRS range, that's when you pit him. But as long as Pierre's got DRS on these faster vehicles, there's no real reason to pit him. Yeah, so these are all on older meters. So all of these are pitting again. Every single person in this train is pitting again. I might actually conserve fuel while I'm in this train, just to be a little bit safer.
All okay on
That's the exact opposite of what I'm telling you to do. And we would assume Albon's pitting again as well, actually. So Mick's actually looking good for 8th. I'm wondering if I can conserve the tyres while I'm in this train, because there's zero chance he's getting through it. It's Russell that's ahead of him, so... Oh, Ocon's actually struggling to stay within 1 second of Mick here. Okay, saved a bit there. Oh, Pierre's out now. This might be the lap to pit. Yeah, I mean, his tyres have gone, so there's no... he was outside of the DRS range, so there's no point. Why did you ignore the pit? Did I just call it too late? Who's crashed? Oh, it's just a yellow flag. Okay. Oh, it's a safety car. This might work out sensationally for Pierre, who's actually still ahead of Bottas.
Safety car. You're delta positive.
It's not worth it, Mick. He can go on to softs, but it's not worth it. Oh, Leclerc and Verstappen missed the pit when that was called. Perez has been able to capitalise, but the first and second missed it. Mick wouldn't lose out by much, but it's whether or not everyone in that train ahead of him will end up behind him when they pit. And Mick's tyres aren't that much worse than theirs, to a degree where it will matter by the end of the race. Okay, Pierre is coming in. I was marginally concerned that was like permanently broken and Pierre would never pit again, even though I know he's already pitted once this race. But there is such a gap between Pierre and Ricciardo. He will definitely come out ahead of Ricciardo. It's Stroll, of course it is. Has he been taken out? Or is it just of his own regard? Yes, of his own accord. Ow, blimey. Oh, he almost ended up back up on the track, which is why the safety cars come out. Oh, everyone's coming out. Of course, yeah, everyone needs to come out, because that's everyone in the train with Mick. Yeah, Mick's on 80%. Mick's on 87%. That's nothing. And because it's a DRS train from Ricciardo, they'll all end up behind. I don't feel the need to pit Mick. Ocon's going to the end of the race, of course, as well. Ricciardo stayed out. Ricciardo's one stopping. Oh, I could have gone on to softs with Gasly, I think, but oh well. He certainly had them to spare because we didn't bloody run in Q3. Of course, the concerns with Mick are those ones that didn't go on to mediums. It's the ones that went on to softs, like Albon, for instance. We just have to hope they waste their time trying to get past Ocon instead. If Mick can get Ricciardo on the restart as well,
Loads of energy. Safety car is.
we'll allow them both to attack for a lap. But ideally, Gasly can't really attack Perez because Perez is on better tyres. But we're just kind of hoping that he can get rid of those 4 cars ahead of them as quickly as possible. Perez has got a really good chance of winning this race, actually. I mean, it's technically a street circuit, I guess. I am very surprised Hamilton didn't pit. I get that for the Mercedes, that Russell's strategy required him to pit again, regardless. But Perez pitted, even though he was clearly on a one-stop as well. But yeah, Mick, I need you to deal with Ricciardo straight away here. We are watching Gasly on Perez. I almost don't want Gasly to attack Perez here, but come on, Mick. Get him! Get him, Mick! Get him! I believe in you! There we are. That's as much as I'm willing to do with that.
That's it.
Might as well save your ERS. Oh, Perez got Hamilton. Huge. Temporarily re-attack.
They'll come to some lift and coast.
Come on. Yeah, you've got Hamilton here. Surely you're on the outside of him. Slightly unhelped by Perez stopping alarmingly quickly there, but you are ahead now. Good boy.
Good job.
Mick's actually in a really good position now. Might as well rewatch one of these.
Look at this. It's Pierre Gasly.
Shout out to Pierre only doing pit stops under a safety car. But I am expecting Perez to just saunter through that front 4. I think their tyres will hold now just because of the safety car. The hards. But Albon now has 2 hard runners ahead of him. And he's got probably a quite testy Norris behind him. Not really pressuring Albon on as much as I thought he would. But as long as this lot are in a train, by the time DRS reactivates, Albon's going to have a tough time getting through them. Come on, Mick. On the outside of Hamilton, on the inside of Hamilton. I was actually about to say, I'll pop you on deploy so you can get him on the straight, but he's got him in through that section. Mick with the most unconventional moves. I didn't come back after the restart, but wow, Mick, wow. That is beautiful work. Pierre's, I think he said Pierre's got batter. My words are not working. Let's watch this move through this tight, windy section. He's got him before the chicane, in fairness, which would have been the bold spot, but putting another hard runner between him and the soft of Albon. That's beautiful work. Pierre on Bottas. DRS not activated yet, of course. Actually, once DRS activates, Perez is winning this. Mick's on the fastest lap, which is good because I actually put that incentive in manually for once. On the basis that Pierre said 3/4 of the fastest lap so far, I thought, sod it, why not gamble 50 grand to get 200 for the fastest lap? Or 150 or whatever it is. We've already dropped Hamilton. So Bottas will have DRS as well, but I'm just hoping like the overall package of deploying everything with Pierre is going to do something here. Oh, Pierre put his nose in. Not enough. Might as well save your fuel, Mick. Perez might do a 2-for-1 here, although Leclerc's positioned himself in a really bad spot. Okay, so Pierre in... Oh! That corner is not coded well. It's safe to say that corner is not coded well. I know Mick's on don't fight, so I probably don't need to actually attack the tyre now, because Bottas is outside of the DRS range of those two ahead, so should be straightforward. We are basically watching this lap for lap now, but Pierre should have no issues with Bottas now. I mean, provided he actually knows how to overtake. And he's got him through there. Good, right. Perez still hasn't got those front two. Come on, Pierre. Oh, we do need these front four to run away. It's not really happening yet. There's been an incident. It says in the wall, looks like a McLaren that's not moving. It is Norris. I think it's just a little tap. I think it's just a little tap. I don't think that's going to take him out. I think he's okay. I think he might continue on here. Yeah, and indeed he has got going again, so it is just a temporary yellow flag. That's fine. It means this lot are still fighting each other. Yeah, so Perez has got the same issue as... Oh, Perez! Oh, my Lord! This is a move. This is a move from Perez. He's had to yield to Max. There's still clearly a couple of spots in this game where that's happening, but huge, huge. Not only for Perez, but for Pierre. Because if Perez can now get Max, how is his softs looking? 70%, that's not bad. It's bunched things up for Mick and Bottas, unfortunately, but I would not be surprised if Pierre and Perez is a very confusing two people to be paying attention to right now. But yeah, Leclerc's fallen off Perez. Does he actually have DRS? I don't think... he has got DRS. No, I'll leave the fuel off then. But even so... No, he's not got him. But Perez ahead of Verstappen now. Bottas is more than a second behind. We know Mick's capable of an overtake on that stretch, but he just wasn't close enough. All right, all things go on Pierre. Let's see if we can get one of these for a podium. And obviously cut the gap to Verstappen, which is crucial for the title, as things stand. Oh, that's one. That's one. He's in the position. All right, so we'll leave that there for now. And in fact, that's all that's needed, really. We only need the one, because with Perez ahead of Verstappen, if Perez on his softs can get the second on Verstappen... Oh, Mick needs to get within... Oh, actually, he is within, in fact. It seemed to threaten temporarily that Mick wasn't within. Don't know how he's actually managed to lose fuel there, but... So Leclerc does not have DRS on Pierre anymore. And Gasly's having a go at Max, even with DRS is activated. Yeah, there's still a weird yield spot there, which they clearly didn't get in their round of bug fixing, but whatever. The spot for Pierre to attack is down here, it seems. He loves to attack in this section. Likes to get his nose in and then fight through that section and eventually make them yield. And he's not going to get Perez. Perez is on better tyres. So unless Perez's tyres go off in the last 4 laps, might as well rewash that one. But yeah, Pierre loves this move. He's done it like 4 times now. Just gets his nose in at the end of that, and he's got the inside on that sort of semicircle, and he's ahead by the chicane. Mick's on the back of Leclerc as well. Oop. Oh, and 2 times that closing speed is alarming. There's 4 laps left. I can't really push the tyres, unfortunately, but I can push overtake. So Mick likes an overtake here, actually, and he's going for it, and he's done it, I think. Oh, hang on. Why have you yielded? That was such a weird place to... I'm sorry, what? Okay, so in the same spot that Mick was making an overtake, Pierre was ahead. I wasn't expecting this. Bear in mind, I've burnt my medium, so his softs are going to be comparative. I mean, I was happy to settle for second there. I will temporarily deploy everything on this straight. The 0.1 kilograms is not shifting now. I'm not pushing that fuel. I'm not risking that at this point. I mean, I don't really know why you're not deploying at this stage. Come on, Mick. Come on, Mick. Get your nose in. Get your nose in. You're on the other side, but you're still going for it. I'll also leave the tyres now. And I'm going to keep deploying in the vain hope we can get caught up to Max ahead.
That's it.
Good work there. I mean, it's put some distance between him and Leclerc at least. Doohan has pitted. I mean, he wasn't in the points anyway, but I love the fact they do consistently prevent him from ever getting close. It's quite funny. I think it's just because he's so bad on his tyres. We highlighted that before. He is so bad on his tyres, Doohan, that trying to do one-stops never works out for him because he has to pit early. Perez's socks are actually gone off even though Pierre has pushed his hards that little bit more. And they have separated off from Verstappen now. So I don't know whether or not Mick is going faster than Max. Bear in mind that his tyres are on 46% as well now. Verstappen's are under 40, but I think Norris might be able to do a fastest lap. Russell's done a faster lap, actually. We have lost fastest lap, irritatingly. We'll push Gasly on the final one just to see what fastest can be, but I'm not confident. I can see them side by side in the far distance. Perez has got him, it seems. Oh, Mickey's getting marginally closer. I'm going to say, 2 laps to go. Harvest on this one. Actually, maybe don't harvest on this one. I just realised because Verstappen's gap isn't great. So just get Mick within a second of Max, and he could get on the podium here on the final lap. Okay, so final lap begins with Pierre on the inside of Perez. Perez is behind. Crucial. Attack. He doesn't have any ERS for whatever reason. I don't really know why. But we can push Pierre's fuel a smidge. And I am wondering with Mick, can we get him in range? Get him to attack his tyres now. Can we get Mick on a podium? From 15th! Can we get Mick on a podium? Mick! I'll put him on overtake, not deploy. And I'll put Pierre on defend, not deploy as well. Okay, maybe the fuel we'll have to be a little bit more careful with, but tyres and ERS we can go for.
Lift and coast, that's good.
Straight up deploy from here, Mick.
Use energy. Yeah,
come on, Mick! Oh, he forced him to the inside. He's going around the outside. This might be just a simple drive past with DRS. And with no way for Max to sort of fight back. I don't know if DRS actually activates on the final stretch before now. Oh, he might be on the outside. I don't know if he's going to do a weird yield. No, Max is behind. Max is behind. Yes, Mick! Gasly held on for Perez ahead, but I wasn't as concerned by that. I'm not really certain either. You started 10th. I'm so glad we didn't start at the back of the grid now. I'm so glad we didn't start at the back of the grid.
Nice checker flag. Car was great.
10th and 15th to the best result of the season. That is mad. The game tried to screw us, and we said no. Pierre still gets focused on here because he's won the damn race, but I don't know if he got a fastest lap at the end, though. I don't know. I didn't pay attention. Because I know, obviously, he was pushing things at the end, so I don't know if he actually got anything fast there. But, hi, Mick! Is that Mick's first podium since Canada last year? I think they might have forgotten to give Mick Schumacher eyelids, because that was quite horrifying. Yeah, Mick has a slight whiff of Woody from Toy Story there with his model. Enjoy. I mean, I wish I'd done the bloody incentive now. I mean, on the basis we started 10th and 15th, I may have actually got a bit cheeky with that incentive if I'd remembered it. Because you can change the number of positions gained for a bigger result. But, oh boy. Where did Albon end up? 10th? Yeah, he didn't get anyone in the end. Oh, Pierre went close with the fastest lap. I'm going to assume the 31.6 was his final lap. Oh, no, it was the 31.8 the final lap. I mean, if he'd had ERS, I think he would have got fastest lap on the final lap. But he didn't, unfortunately. So we do lose out on the fastest lap, which I put in off my own accord for a change. By the way, I love the fact that fastest lap either goes to Pierre or someone who doesn't get a point from it. Because it's been Pierre 3 times, and it's been Hamilton outside of the points and Russell outside of the points. So entirely irrelevant. Leclerc got the pole, clearly, because he's got 11 points. But what a result. 25 points for Pierre extends his lead at the top to 33, if my maths is correct there. Mick gets up to 7th with a further 15 points. Leapfrogs George Russell, who scored zilch. Carlos Sainz scored zilch as well, which gets 2 places for Perez as he gets Valtteri Bottas 2. And Mick very much joining that fight there. And we do extend by 10 points overall on Red Bull. Obviously, Perez getting 2nd does help things a little bit for them. But it's a 1st and 3rd for us versus 2nd and 4th for them. Ferrari slipping up there, of course, with the unfortunate Sainz pit stop. And actually, the safety car didn't really help them. Well, to be fair, it was the first safety car that helped us, more to the point. The second one didn't really help anyone. There was no one really who gained a massive benefit from that because they all had to pit again and they were all not in a good spot in the first place. So, because they're all being held up by a one-stopping Daniel Ricciardo, who was actually the saving grace for us, really, in the end, was Daniel Ricciardo there. Because Daniel Ricciardo was holding everyone up between him and where we were in that train with Mick Schumacher after he pitted, which I think was, I mean, obviously Lando's down a bit, but it was down to basically everyone except for Lance Stroll and Sonoda or Sargent, whoever was at the back. Because he was holding everyone up there, when that safety car came out, all those cars that needed to pit again ended up behind Mick. So actually, we need to say thank you for Daniel Ricciardo, who was partially responsible for Mick's terrible race in Melbourne. I don't know why I said that weirdly. But we have to say thank you for Daniel Ricciardo there, because obviously on the restart, it was a lot easier to get past him. It's only 1,000 points for both, despite the first and third, sorry. I don't understand these points. Obviously, 2 safety cars has taken race completion to 97 out of 100, but he had 44 failed overtakes to Pierre. That's probably when he was in the train with the front 2 runners. And I suspect we got some of the long-term objectives there as well. So a nice amount of money in, obviously get their bonus clauses. And our race simulator gets refurbished just in time for us to complete the chassis. I did forget to mention this. I misread the calendar. The chassis that was on the day that the ATR period started was manufacturing, not design. So actually it's completely redundant manufacturing now, because we need to make new ones. It's either the underfloor or the front wing that we now target with the bulk of our engineers, because we go 6, 2 and 2 when we do this. So underfloor or front wing. What actually helps acceleration? Just rear wing. But literally the only thing that helps acceleration. That's such a weird thing. It's only, sorry, DRS acceleration, as I was looking at there. Underfloor helps regular acceleration, and chassis helps regular acceleration. But so front wing, brake cooling, and just cornering speeds, both sides, and underfloor is just cornering speeds, and just basically it's the core car performance is the underfloor, and it is the biggest one as well. So it's probably best to get the new one of these in as early as possible. I'm going to put all of our remaining hours into it to get the maximum possible benefit. Acceleration hasn't even gone up, which is the funny part here. It does actually help the dirty air as well. But it's mostly top speed, that. Without shifting anything, it's obviously 75 days. I like to put in the engineers first. So it's 50 days without rushing it. It's 34 days with rushing it. And expertise obviously is expensive. But so it's 50 days without rushing. Now you can actually still push everything. You can still push everything up, but the time it costs is actually now much more risk reward, basically. So I know the minimum we can do. So it's 50 days. June. So that's probably around Silverstone. I mean, look at just without even touching anything, look at that high speed benefit as well, cornering wise. 0.32G, it seems. Definitely seems to be helping high speed more than low speed. Just without pushing anything, that's what it would do for us. And if you pushed everything, it would get us slightly higher up in top speed and get us even further up on high speed cornering. And that would take 75 days if you don't rush it, which is July. So rushing will get us back to 50 days again. I mean, it's a big upgrade, isn't it? Let's do that. This all gets us pieces coming in a little bit more spread out as well. 25th of June is here. There are... Oh, it is just before Britain, actually. I was bang on with that. Britain, Austria, France and Hungary. So there's still 4 races, actually, before the break there. So the break is July 28th, just noting that going forward. And it's just after the next ATR period ends as well. So maybe that's good timing on that front then. So we'll get, by the way, a new side pods, which is what I was doing after the suspension came through. That's why I put the 2 engineers on with side pods. That comes in before Azerbaijan. We'll be able to do a sort of another part without sort of wind tunnel hours. So it'll be marginal gains, but we could get another part in probably by the time that ATR period opens, like a suspension again or another side pods, which, you know, don't take too long, or a new chassis again, which doesn't take too long. But again, it'd be marginal gains, but we get no further upgrades basically for 2 more races. Also, by the way, I am just sort of scouting 18-year-olds just to see if they are new gens. I suspect, by virtue of being a female driver, actually, this is actually a new gen. But I'm just keeping an eye on them because their new gen faces are actually like proper like AI generated faces. It's hard to tell who's a real person down here. I know Ollie Behrman is obviously, and I think Hunter Yeany is a real person. Wow, Enzo truly really looks like he's blimey. But anyway, that's it from Miami. It's Spain next. No further upgrades for 2 more races, so it's status quo for 2 more races as we let other people get ahead of us, possibly, again. But it's not a bad start, is it? First 5 races, 154 points, 30 points a race, thereabouts. Pretty solid going. I do expect Ferrari and Red Bull to come back strong. Ferrari technically have the best car here. I do expect them to come back strong and overtake us at some point during this season. So getting a nice healthy lead on Mercedes at least is good. 3rd would be nice. Our season objective is only 4th, but if we can get 3rd, I'd appreciate that. I am not expecting the Constructors' Champion. I will say that now. Despite where we are right now, I am not expecting it. But you have enjoyed this race, as I said at the top. Do give us a like, do give us a comment, do give us a subscribe if you haven't done so already. Until next time, ta-ra!